Today, we're doing some portfolio reviews with SesoHQ, my boss, fellow designer, YouTuber, content creator. So our first portfolio, Mario. So this one seems pretty straightforward.
The few things that come to mind in my idea is that we use the mock-ups, I think, more as a way to show the logo rather than actually place the logo in a real world situation.
I always try to get one mock-up at least that's very like hyper specific to whatever the brand is. So if it's like an esports brand, I always want to have a mock-up of like how their logo would look in like a stadium, you know, or something that relates to the business so they can kind of see for themselves like how it would look, right?
Even like marketing, if you're thinking marketing, I would even think like how your socials look. How does the pro marketing socials look? So I'm trying to use stuff that he's already using for the record. Like the left one with the MacBook and the MacBook Pro behind, or the iMac behind it. If you had like on the actual MacBook screen, maybe like the pro socials to make it feel more like implemented.
I do think the logo is very strong. I think it has a lot of potential, and I would maybe even suggest for your other branding elements, rather than using kind of like curved shapes, I would suggest going with that angular approach where it almost looks like you have like folded paper. I would use that as an element in your branding rather than having kind of like these wavy lines. I think it'll make the logo feel more consistent with the visual language, the style of the brand. Arsious, let's do a quick run through. So we got a little bit of everything, some social media graphics, standard match graphics. I don't know how I feel about Rise 3-0ing 100 Thieves in this graphic, but I think what you've done with kind of the script and the signature and incorporating it with the character and kind of blending the two together is a very like potentially iconic look and has a lot of potential to be used elsewhere in the branding. I actually think that when I look at things like the marketing for the apparel, it feels a little bit disconnected because the match graphics have that kind of really intense, grungy, raw feel to it.
I like the way you actually said that. It's a pretty fun way of thinking about it, but I also do think there was a level of like, how do you distinctively make the Rise Twitter look different than esports? And I guess in his way is he went more with a simple look for the apparel stuff, which would be like if 100 Thieves was on 100 Thieves page and esports, you have that more esports looking feel and more hype toward that direction. There's nothing wrong with being clean. It's just that in comparison, this is on the same channels until Rise makes a different channel. That would be a better call to make sure that they all feel cohesive in their own way while also still feeling epic throughout the entire time where you're scrolling through the timeline.
This is what makes design difficult, is you need to find a balance of like, how can I make them feel similar enough, but still recognizable as separate pieces. Hopefully that helps, Arsious. Very, very nice work. 3, 2, 1. Frostify, another familiar face. So most recent one, Halo Championship Series. That's what we're looking at. So HCS stream coverage. Unofficial.
Yeah, it's just super, super sick. I do like the open airness feel, how you basically use white as this kind of base while using the colors of the teams as a way to implement color into the actual branding. And I feel like the hierarchy here is very, very well put and well placed.
I think you nailed all of the functional aspects that you need to look out for designs like this where the focus needs to be the game. I think the next step should be adding in something that has it stand out a little bit more. So right now it does its job, but to be completely honest, I don't know if it hits the mark of being like a memorable event design. The people who nail branding for events specifically like championships and stuff would be League of Legends and Valorant. And if you look at like the LCS, or actually just the League of Legends Worlds branding that they did for 2021, but just look at like the simpler things that they're working on and see how they make those things iconic.
The one thing that I would immediately probably start looking at and try to do is incorporate the blue and red. This is like this primary Halo Championship color, right? And I feel like immediately I would look at the logo and I'd be like, damn, how do I make the logo feel more part of the actual design rather than just being this icon? If you don't know where to go, you just look at where they went.
That's the first thing that I'll take a look at for design, is I'll break down the logo. Every memorable branding always has some kind of concept or narrative that they carry through all of their deliverables. So I guess that's the question to leave you with, is what is your narrative for this project? What story do you want to tell with this design? SQV. So Sesa, I'll let you pick the last one that we're going to look at because he said just any of these.
Okay, I want to pick, honestly, the AIS looks pretty cool. I'm going to go with the AIS.
AIS. Some business card design. We have a homepage design.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really expecting, okay, when I saw the cool like thumbnail and I saw the heading, right, the nice AIS with the Audi in the back and like, you know, this grungy, almost not grunge, but like a noise, almost vintage look. And I keep on scrolling down. I wouldn't say I was disappointed in what I was seeing, but I was wondering if it was gonna be a different direction. I'm a little bit curious to why you didn't kind of home into this really fun vintage look.
This has like a narrative that it's starting to develop, and I think that gets lost in the branding. This logo, technically, it looks like AAIS. Everything's the same size, so hierarchy-wise, they're on the same scale. Some of these mock-ups, like this notepad mock-up, this logo needs to be more prominent. It's very well incorporated. I like that it's underneath the shadow. It makes it feel very real, but I almost didn't catch it. Business cards, I think, is fine. I would even suggest not having both of these mock-ups because they do the same job and it makes it feel almost like you're bulking up the project. I would keep in mind the story that you're trying to tell. I would create a narrative around like, what does always in stock mean? What's their history? What's their brand? I think you have something here, and I would just try to build off of that narrative and try to build a story for this brand for people to latch onto. Appreciate you all for being here. This has been super fun. See ya, everyone. Thank you so much, Seso. Appreciate it.